Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's date some demons together.
Yeah. Let's do some Love Nikki together.
All right, yeah. Well, so we did a short episode last where we talked about how this is about Love Nikki, basically, but with dating demons, and it's very functionally similar. Like, the layout is completely different, but the function is similar. Anyway, we're going to go right into the real story, because we've been having to break this up into things. We learned we could do phone calls last time, and that was fascinating.
Was wild.
Fascinating. Okay, so we did a long monologue with Leviathan, and we're going to see what the next piece is.
Oh, it's
more Leviathan?
All right, enough. This is starting to depress me.
Is it? Well, good for you.
Anyway, I didn't bring you here to tell you about TSL.
You might have. As far as I can tell, that's what you did.
I don't think there's any harm in just coming out and saying what you already know is true. Mammon is a complete and utter scumbag.
Are you all going to bag on each other this entire game?
I think it sounds like bag on Mammon. Like, nobody else has really bagged on anyone else as hard as they've bagged on him so far.
It's true. Everyone mentions Mammon as being problematic. Mammon is the problematic fave.
Frickin' Lucifer is whining to us on a phone call about his brother and his bills. Not that I'm saying that that's not important, but I'm also like, dude, I barely know you. Can I help?
All right.
It's very important that you understand this, so we'll say it one more time.
All right, we appreciate it.
Mammon is a hopeless... worthless...
Oh, he pauses. Oh, God!
Scumbag!
With emphasis. I like the idea that these could be holographic jellyfish, as was posited to us by Draco Nishi. It was very cute. I was like, okay, so he's basically got a pool above his room and then holographic jellyfish. It's kind of cool.
Which is totally fine. Like, so Leviathan is actually associated with water, which
So, for me, the question I had was, I know the name Leviathan is associated with water, but I didn't understand, like, is he greed or... I forget what Leviathan's is. What he's the avatar of what? No, he's not sloth.
Oh, no, he was envy.
He's envy. Thank you. Right. Avatar of envy. And I was just like, I don't know how the name Leviathan fits with envy is the problem I was having. Anyway, we've been talking in the comments on some of the other ones, and I'm just going, yeah, I get that Leviathan means water, so how does envy hook to water?
From the Wikipedia entry, because Wikipedia is still valid in totally tons of ways,
Excellent.
Leviathan is a creature from the form of a sea serpent from Jewish belief, referenced in the Hebrew Bible, in the book of Job, Psalms, and the book of Isaiah, and the book of Amos.
Okay.
The Leviathan of the book of Job is a reflection of the older Canaanite Lotan, a primeval monster defeated by the god Baal-Hadad.
Wow.
Parallels to the role of Mesopotamian Tiamat, defeated by Marduk, have long been drawn in comparative mythology, as have been wider comparisons to dragon and world serpent narratives such as Indra slaying the Vertra, or Thor slaying Jormungandr. Jormungandr, excuse me. But Leviathan already figures in the Hebrew Bible as a metaphor for a powerful enemy. Notably, Babylon and some 19th century scholars have pragmatically interpreted it as referring to large aquatic creatures, such as the crocodile. The word later came to be used as a term for great whale, as well as for sea monsters in general.
Okay, so how does envy connect to the sea?
I don't
That's why I'm going, what do their names have to do with what they're the avatar of? That's the problem I'm having.
Yeah, But being the scumbag he is, he won't do it.
Alright, that's fine.
I wish I could force him to, but despite what a rotten waste of space he is, Mammon's still the second oldest.
I mean, we don't know what, like, oldest versus youngest means in your world.
So, considering the fact that this is Japanese in origin, there is a large emphasis... No, I'm talking about the overall...
Do we know this is Japanese hell? I'm saying in-game we don't know as players.
No, but I'm saying contextually from... So the thing is that a lot of people actually betray their origins through their stories because they show off their main beliefs very strongly and very heavily in various little tiny details like this. Because as far as I understand, in Japanese culture, when you have the oldest child, there is a certain amount of basically responsibility and expectation of responsibility that you are supposed to have. You are the leader. You're supposed to be more. It's that older sibling thing.
What does the second child have?
Probably more of the same thing because he's the third one, so he's going, you should be more responsible than me.
Because you're the second oldest.
Because you're the second oldest. Okay. You should back up basically our older brother.
I don't know in this game, as the game with no other context, what the ages mean.
Yeah, I don't know either, especially because I'm like, are you guys actually all related?
And they haven't talked about line of inheritance, they haven't talked about parents, they haven't talked about anything. We don't know where these guys come from.
I agree.
All right, anyway, still the second oldest.
As the third oldest, no matter how hard I try, I don't stand a chance against him.
I mean, your name says you are a formidable enemy, so maybe you do.
You say you want to know how Mammon and I first became enemies? No, not
Wait,
really.
you're gonna tell us another monologue in the very next episode. You're gonna get 2 whole spaces on the story progression to yourself.
That's fine.
All right.
Don't you want to talk to me?
I want to watch you talk to yourself. Do it. I'm gonna
Well,
watch
it's a long
Scandal.
story, but sure. I'll tell you, human, even though you didn't actually ask me. Once, a long time ago, Mammon won a prize at a convenience store promotional campaign. If you bought something, they let you reach into a box and pull out a piece of paper that told you what you'd won. And the prize Mammon won was a Seraphina figurine, something I would have died to have. But despite the fact that Mammon had no interest in it at all, he refused to give it to me. Why, you ask? Because I wanted it. That's it. That was the only reason. I wanted it, and he just said no to torment me.
He looks so devastated.
I mean, how awful is that? So I got to thinking, Mammon's going to end up treating Seraphina like some random piece of junk. That much is a given. I can maybe handle it if he at least leaves her in her original packaging, but what if he actually takes her out of the box? He might just do it, and if he does, he'll get dust on her, won't we? I decided I had to save Seraphina, so I snuck into Mammon's room in the middle of the night. What do you think I saw there?
I'm just like, this is an amazing monologue. I just picture you talking so fast, like if this were actually an anime, just being like, blah, 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 blah,
And you're just like,
and you're like, whoa, dude. And yeah, you got somebody that's just being like, hi. And that's it. You're just like, I got it.
So this.
Or you just got, the cicadas are going, near, 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 near. Uh-huh.
You're not gonna believe it! He didn't open the box! No, it's way worse than that. He hadn't even taken it out of the plastic convenience store bag, which he'd tossed on the floor of his room. The floor! He actually left Seraphina on the floor! The queen of the high elves herself! Sure, she seems cold and prideful at first, but once you get her alone, you find out she really wants affection. She just doesn't know how to admit it, and it's so cute!
You mean like you? You are Seraphina? Like, pretty much?
Seraphina,
okay,
what
so
have you done?
I have to pull this out really quick. So, in the way that you pet your demons, and if you haven't seen the other episodes, you're just gonna have to go look. It is a function of this game that you pet the demons.
You do.
His particular, like, perfect interaction is, like, patting his head and then rubbing his head twice. And so it's like, he just literally wants you to be like, you are the good, you know,
Good eldritch horror.
Good eldritch horror. He just wants you to pat his head in approval. He really just wants approval and attention. He's just like, it's really like, are you okay, my dude? You're all so isolated, it's ridiculous. But yeah, envy. You're clearly having an envy experience with Seraphina. Good job. Go for it.
Yet Mammon just threw her on the floor, and I don't think he'd cleaned it in 3 months. It was covered in junk. Old empty cup ramen containers, tissues with dried snot, and boogers. I swear to God, it was boogers. It wasn't like eyeballs or
That
anything.
was enough to know that it was snot and boogers. He manufactured them just so that you, a human, would understand what the hell was going on, because you wouldn't know what our demon substances are at all.
At all! Stuff was strewn everywhere, and there she was, lying amongst all of that, on the floor, tossed aside like so much junk. How could he?
I see, my dear.
God, I'm sorry, I'm having such a, you sound like a way more serious version of Melon Pan, and I can't.
Yes.
It was so awful, and again, and I feel terrible about this, because I'm like, I do not want to say, like, you should treat individuals who do sometimes do this like crap.
Like, there's nothing...
I don't want to try to encourage that, but I don't know how to take this, because I'm like, to me, you are really kind of obsessive and extremely off-putting.
You are deeply socially awkward, and not in the same, like, cultural dissonance way of the other ones. You're really just like, I'm trying so hard to be a human otaku that I come off like someone, you know, trying, like basically super awkward. And it sounds like it feels more like a shaming exercise than something that's meant to be cute and charming.
Right?
Which is why I'm uncomfortable, where it feels like you're supposed to be thinking,
well, that's what I'm saying,
he's
like,
so
I
awkward.
feel like this is just poorly done, because it's like leaning heavily into everything that everybody says is the worst about otakus.
Right. It's
they're all socially awkward. They all just don't understand how embarrassing it is to talk to them or be around them. They're obsessive about their waifus. They talk about really weird topics without explaining anything. They're unintelligent. They're basically extremely just like
insular, and they have like a laser focus on one thing.
Right.
But like in our critique and review of this game, which is what we're doing as a playthrough, because you have to explain that these days.
It's true.
There's this experience of going, it seems like you're trying to essentially make him look bad. Like, his clothes are a mess. He is, talking about things where even he acts like he's a little uncomfortable or embarrassed about them, but also this extreme of no one else connects to what I care about at all. And then the lack of context for things, where he doesn't even realize he needs to bring you into the fandom. He's just dumping stuff on you.
And again, this is one of those things, so like we mentioned a little bit, I think it was in the other one, then of just being like, so the thing about vocal performances. So in the previous episode of this one, we talked about there is somebody who has a Patreon where he set up where what he does is basically boyfriend voice acting.
Right.
Where it's basically comfort voice acting of like your boyfriend when you're sick, your boyfriend talks to you gently when you've had a bad day at
your
work.
Boyfriend taking care of you during your period, your boyfriend tucking you in at night.
These all these different kinds of things, and I'm going, he sounds sort of like that experience of where you're supposed to relate to him because for some reason we are all greatly missing deep emotional attachment, and also going deep emotional attachment apparently looks like a very weird specific thing without ever really discussing it or talking about it or
there's this post that was on Tumblr that we ran into a while ago that really just said, I want I want a boyfriend, but I don't want to do all of that, like, getting to know them and starting things and stuff. I just want to have a fully formed boyfriend right now. Walk out of the woods right now.
Yeah, that was like a Thomas Sanders Vine that he had too, going like, oh, so I have these friends I can meet. He's like, no, I want a boyfriend now, immediately,
Just a fully developed boyfriend with all the intimacy and all the closeness and none of the work. And that's what these games are trying to simulate. But in this case, I feel like it's really that we're supposed to be caretaking for this guy, where you get options between...
We're not caretaking for literally everybody
for everyone.
else?
The weirdest thing that I keep experiencing in these dating games, in different dating games all over the place, is that we keep caretaking for all of them, and their lives are a mess. They're supposed to be powerful and capable in their arenas, but in reference to emotional connection, they're a mess, so we have to basically teach them how to relationship, which makes a little more sense with demons who have never done it, but it seems really weird that you're going to show up and basically socially caretake for people when you're the one that's lonely.
Right?
You, the player, are the one that's lonely.
All right. And it feels like some sort of like almost like semi/predatory, encouraging kind of thing that's preying on basically what
we're trying to monetize your loneliness.
No, we're trying to monetize the behavior that you've been taught, particularly because I think they assume most of the players are going to be women
or
girls
these games are directed
of going
mostly
like,
at women.
you're going to caretake, and that's what you're good at, because that's all you're supposed to be doing. So the best way to do this, and the way you show love, is by being available and caretaking when everybody's unhappy. And look how many people who are attractive and unhappy and could use your help.
I would say, or this experience of like going, you're supposed to change people by being remarkable. Sort of how they talked about in, and I'm just going to use this reference, I've never seen the movie, but I've seen some of the interviews because I love behind the scenes stuff from movies. It's one of my hobbies. There was an interview with the actress who worked in 50 Shades of Grey, and they asked her why she took the role. Before she did the first movie, they asked her why she took the role, and she said she was fascinated with the idea that a woman, through basically how profound her love was, could genuinely change a man. And there is this ridiculous amount, as a woman myself, there's this ridiculous amount of expectation that essentially you are, if you are a good enough woman, that the man you are with, or you choose, or you end up with, or that chooses you, will change for the better because of you, and if he doesn't, it's because you didn't do it right.
Ugh.
And it pisses me off.
It was so awful. It just lost it and flew into a rage. I walked straight over to Mammon, who was lying on his bed asleep, and then I raised my leg up into the air over him, and I brought my heel down on my stomach as hard as I could. Next thing I knew, he wasn't there in the bed anymore. It all happened so fast. He moved with incredible speed. He grabbed me, picked me up, and slammed me headfirst onto the floor in a pile driver. And the worst part is that he was stark naked.
Why is that the worst part?
Okay, so
he was wearing his human suit and he didn't even cover it up.
Yeah, which would make more sense in terms of, whatever, rather than the weird theme of going like, again, I had two older brothers, have still currently, which is not to say I want anything to really happen to them.
Nope, you haven't.
But I'm like,
Bye.
there were so many times where I literally ran into them either being naked because they thought it was funny, and they literally threw a party when I was stuck in my room at one point where they were jumping off the roof of the house with their friends, completely buck-ass naked, over my window onto the trampoline.
Because why?
Because why the heck not? I'm like, they do not care. It's your, like, if you have similar bodies,
if
like
people are comfortable with each other, they'll get naked. It's fine. If people are having fun, there's a lot of also, like, Men used to swim naked. It was fine.
Yeah.
Women will swim naked together in groups. People
People who just...
people who feel like they're going to be comfortable together in a naked group will get naked together and go and do stupid things.
It's true. And also do really normal things like, go to a pool and
Well,
get undressed.
that's what I mean. Stupid things like we're all going to swim naked because or
Right?
because we just don't have any swimsuits. Or like
Right.
jump on a trampoline naked because ha,
Right?
etc. Anyway.
As he started to lose consciousness, I remember thinking, why does he have to sleep in the nude? He could at least put on some underwear.
Why does he have to wear his human costume at night?
It's-
These bodies look so weird. So we've got this thinly veiled eldritch horror thing going on where they barely understand what humans are even vaguely like, and they're all sort of just wearing these skin
Also,
suits.
I think it would be really funny if they were wearing skin suits, but they don't always put them on right every single day, so they're kind of like, oh yeah, I think it went there.
I think this is kind of where this part goes.
And you're
or close enough, like your shirt is rumpled, and it's just like there's a little bit of like just creeping, uncanny horror when you try to look
and
at
you're
them.
just like going, what is wrong with you today? And they're like, and you're like,
what?
I just realized your nose has decided to slide
Like it's
somewhere
just not
else
affixed
slowly.
today. Or that, when you lift your hair up, you don't actually have a forehead because you didn't know it was necessary. It's fine.
It's fine. What you have is a series of eyes.
Or something, it's fine.
I don't remember anything else after that.
Can you just imagine more eyes up across his scalp? It's just there's like another pair, another pair, another pair.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You've just seen how fast he is yourself, haven't you? No one aside from Lucifer Beale has that kind of speed.
We haven't seen anyone be fast except with their mouth.
I have not heard crap, actually. But if, say, a human made a pact with Mammon and bound him to their service...
Are you suggesting something to us?
Then he'd have to do whatever that human told him to do.
I'd like to seal the contract again. Okay, so I'm just thinking, oh god, what Kami-sama kiss? You seal the contract with a demon by kissing them. That's the sealing the contract.
Yeah.
Every single one of these boys, as soon as you kiss them, you have sealed the contract. They have to serve you. Suddenly you're like, I now have 9 demon servants, and I don't know what to do with them. Oops.
Oops,
I did it again.
I kissed all your face. And there's another face.
And there's another face, and another
Which
face.
means that if you make a pact with Mammon and then ordered him to give me back my money,
He'd have to go earn money and then give it back to you.
you wouldn't have any choice but to do it.
What do you even need money for down here, my dude?
I know, I'm
we're
like, what?
earning Grim, but we're also like the job function of this game has them earning money for you, and they also develop affection for you and give you gifts while they're earning money for you. So it's a little wild, actually.
So are we playing Honey Pot?
What's a pact? I don't
That's
know.
all we have.
That's your only option.
Why did you
What
put
are
that
gonna
up as a
choose?
question?
Right? But because they felt like you were just watching and weren't getting to interact, so they wanted to let you pop something. It's baby's first QuickTime events. You could do this.
And if you just leave it there, it will never go away. It'll still be there. It still supports you. It's baby's first quick time event.
It's fine. It
which
won't
is
wait.
to say, it's just there.
It's just that. Which is to say, it's a pop-up ad.
Of impacting
It's
with
so
a
bad.
demon.
Like, that wasn't even a choice. Why did we have to click
Well,
it?
I know. I'm like, that was such a
They
waste
needed
of time.
you to say something, and so, but they're like, but it has to only be this one thing. That feels uninventive.
Except for the fact that they keep honestly implying that we say sometimes things to these demons, and I'm very confused by it. Either that or I'm really going... Again, one of the reasons they blend together so fast to me is that they really are just sort of talking over
Like,
us.
they're just talking at us a whole ton, and then we get to sort of like sneeze back and answer. Excuse me.
Oh, great! Here's my dissertation on life and war and,
And in the
peace by
meantime,
Leo Tolstoy.
You go,
and
achoo! And they're like,
And then
yes,
add
I
the
agree.
shrug.
And then they keep talking.
you're like, oh yes, and then my review of Ben Shapiro. And you're like, Jesus, dude!
All right.
Put it down! A pact with a demon. Haven't you seen that in movies and such?
No, our character doesn't watch the anime we watch.
Oh my god. The demon lends his strength to a human to make their wish come true in exchange for their soul.
All right. I don't want to give up my soul.
Boomer! I don't want to give up my soul.
But yeah,
Not
absolutely.
to anything but capitalism.
Grabs their shiny, their halfway shiny soul and goes, but I've heard this can be useful. I can't give this up. I deserve everything that could be useful.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or could be used as a weapon. Also, I deserve that.
Yeah, no kidding. This isn't always necessary. It depends on what's in the pact.
What's in it, right?
Well, you
Like
need to give something to the demon to make it worth the exchange, because otherwise, Calcifer won't be able to do as well as he could. So you could give him, like, your eyes or your heart.
Or
Instead of your hair.
Instead of your hair, which doesn't give you as big of a cool castle. But the hair gets used up and doesn't get back to you, but the heart stays for some reason.
And I really honestly laughed about that because I was like, look, and then her hair will grow back.
And then her hair will be returned. No, it wasn't.
No.
He used that up. It's fine. I did like the idea that, there was energy in her hair, though, all the energy of you caring about your own
I'm so
hair.
disappointed
That's
that's
pretty
still in that damn movie. So if you guys don't know anything we're talking about Howl's Moving Castle. In the movie, they don't actually explain that in the original book, Sophie's a freaking witch.
She's a witch.
She's
a goddamn
totally
witch.
a freaking witch.
And the reason her appearance changed so much is she's doing that without realizing it, and she's to hide herself, or when she becomes more, passionate, she becomes more like herself because she can't do it anymore. She can't keep it up.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you give something to him to words make it worth the exchange, so it's pretty much inevitable.
So you're saying we can give him a cup of noodles? That's what you're saying?
Awesome, we could do that. If you don't want to give up your souls, then I'll tell you how you can negotiate with Mammon.
I'm still hearing cup of noodles.
Me too. So, a cup of noodles?
So, you're the soul of the human.
What if...
So a cup of noodles, 2 cups of noodles.
The souls of the innocent. A bagel.
2.
No!
Two
no, you
bagels.
idiot! Two bagels.
2 cups of noodles.
2 cups of noodles. Also, I'm sure it would be useful having him as your servant. I mean, despite how awful he is, he's still a powerful demon. And why the hell you would even know how to do this would be terrifying, because you do know that we could basically do this to you, right?
Right? Also, I'm going, you're also suggesting only to him, and then going, you're assuming we'd use him to help you. That's a little self-centered, my dude. Like, this is writing it and going, you could go do this thing that might potentially risk you, but then you could tell him to do this thing with that power that would help me, and then the whole experience is about me. Is there this repeating experience where all the dudes you're supposed to be dating are really into themselves? And really also self-centered and also focused on the other male parties?
And again, there's a weird level of, hyper-masculine competitiveness.
Yes.
That's also extremely, I want to call it, mildly homophobic and also, also baiting completely into the complete, we could be gay together, but it's also incest.
Yeah.
Thing, which is interesting.
Well, but in a lot of other games, they don't have all the incest and stuff. But this particular one, you get some weird vibes. Weird vibes.
Vibes that I personally am not into, for sure.
Yes.
But I bet you feel worried being dragged down here to the devilldom and all. So I don't think it would end up being a bad deal for you either. Why are none of you talking about the fact that... Okay, so,
if I do this and then I go home and you get to see him with me...
literally just went, I am the seer, and I have discovered that even though I was going to become king, I've immediately been challenged by the fact that anybody who marries that human, not just the human, because the thing is that there are 2 humans down here in the Devildom, which is one of the things I was like, the writing on that suddenly got really awkward, because you forget, there's another human here with us.
Who marries this particular human.
Will inherit and rule over everything, which means that we should marry Diavolo, or Diavolo should aggressively be trying to horn on our ass.
Diavolo is basically going, you can all try and date them, but since I already know I'm inheriting, it means the prophecy is talking about they're going to marry me. This is going to be a hilarious year where all of you scramble for this thing, and then at the end, clearly they marry me because I was already in line to inherit, and that's what's happening.
I mean, honestly,
Da-da-da-da-da.
Based off of everything I've seen so far, I think Diavolo is probably the best choice, because at least,
he seems pretty chill and not aggressive.
Yeah, compared to, all the rest of them where they're all super obsessed with each other and,
But I'm also okay, so whoever marries the human, and then we'll rule the Devildom, and then go home with us, because we've been promised we get to return home in 365 days?
Right?
That's the thing is, you bind a pact with him, and then he'll go home with me in 365 days? Or 62
How does this
days?
marriage contract work?
Or, whoever marries the human, and then it's basically a contractual marriage, and we just go home like we've never been married before. It's a business agreement. It's fine.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, it literally said, Diavolo's going to inherit. I'm going to inherit. I'm going to be the next king. And then whoever marries them will be the next king. He's really just trolling everyone. I had canon that he is trolling everyone, so they will try and be interested in you artificially because they want to be in charge. And then he'll be like, I already told you the answer. It was a riddle all along.
Aha! It was obvious, my bro.
It was hidden in plain sight.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, all right, I'll give it a shot. No, I'm not sure I could manage to do that. How would I go about doing that? How would
I was about to say, how would I go about doing that?
How would one do that?
Yeah, okay, fine. Try to sell me on it, please.
Tell me how it works, and I might think about it.
I take it this means you think this plan of mine could work. Excellent. Or you may be a human, but still, you show some Promise?
A little bit, a tiny
And I'm
bit.
gonna keep talking. God, regardless if I'm being honest, I don't really care what you think. Thanks, I could really tell. Like,
yep.
none of you guys give one flying flip as to
About
what
anything
we
we
think.
think. Every one of them is Valdemar. They're just like, oh, what do you think? Oh, I don't care. It's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry, why are you talking?
I'm sorry, why did you talk again? Whoops.
What's important is that I have a plan, and I'm going to explain it to you now. So shut up and listen.
We've been saying so much. We just need to
again,
shut up right now.
One of the biggest problems I also have with this either particular stereotype or interpretation, or basically this character type just on its own, of going like, no, see, he's terrible and he's awful and whatever else, and also going, but you're also supposed to like him, and also assuming that he's like, and I am super into these delicate, soft women, these women who don't know what to do with their feelings, and all my waifus and whatever else.
And every one of them who's born sexy yesterday.
And also, like, he has some serious rampant misogyny. Like, wildly. Because, again, I believe most of the people who wrote this were really genuinely expecting, basically, you're dealing with cisgendered women, basically, or girls. So, this is sort of awkward to be like, he is rampantly disliking women.
I'm also this
most
experience
ways.
of going, he's really just trying to use you. He is not going, will you do this for me? He's going, I have a plan. I could use you in this plan and do this thing.
What if you just walk up to Mammon and ask him to make a pact with you? He'll never agree. No, you need some leverage. A bargaining chip.
Is it ramen?
You're going to offer him something in return, and it's not ramen.
Oh, no, I wanted it to be ramen.
Something he wants so badly that he'd do anything to get it.
Ramen?
Please don't tell me.
Is that the whole damn chapter? Is that the chapter? I'm like, I love the thing of basically, he felt so much like one of those villain monologues where he's just like, talk, 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 and you stare at him and blink and he's like, shut up. And then he keeps talking like you said nothing, and he tells you to shut up.
And you're like, bah.
All right, anyway, so we played through a few levels so we could just do some story, but this is probably good for one round of story.
God, this takes so
the
long. They
meantime-
talk so much.
And that wasn't even a lot of story at all. That was
No.
that was really just him talking like crazy. But yeah, so we're finding ways to still learning how to parse this game into episodes that will hopefully be fun and entertaining. If you have any suggestions given on the massive, many separate pieces of this game, we would be more than happy to hear them. And in the meantime, we love comments, we love subscriptions. If you want to just like this or share this with your friends, if you think it was fun or interesting, that would be awesome.
It would be super great. And also, we have Ko-Fi and Patreon if you like what we do, so feel free to go and support us there as well.
We're
Please
also on Twitter and on Tumblr if you want to hear us being witty or sharing posts.
Yes, please feel free to check those out. And also, we would like for you all to take care of yourselves during this particular coronavirus outbreak.
Yes, please.
Please.
Be safe.
Take care of each other. It does not matter. People will die. That's not acceptable.
So just be safe and stay indoors as best you can. And
So I have been Scandal.
and I have been Lies. And
it
it was
was
great
great
playing
playing
with
with
you.
you.
Bye!